What's up guys, Phantom here, back with episode 8 of my F1 2020 My Team career mode here with Minority here, as we are going to the Azerbaijan Grand Prix and Baku, as we have $3.5 million, so that means we will purchase some quality control for the aerodynamic department, hopefully build that up. As you can see, we are still second last, as we had a chassis upgrade fail, so we'll have to do that. And we have a durability upgrade during this week, and we have a aerodynamic upgrade after the race that hopefully won't fail here. As you can see, we have 9 points as a team, and with us here, as last time out in Monaco with the absolute brilliant strategy call, we were able to get 8 points as we go through the week here doing our training and stuff. As it looks like the upgrades for the ICE did not go through, so we'll have to repurchase those as well as we head to the race. As we start out here and qualifying, crossing the start finish line to start our one and only lap here, so we can save as much wear on our components as possible, as we have no upgrades virtually almost on all of them, as we come through the infamous castle section here, as we hope not to be stupid like Leclerc. As we come down the pit straight here, we have Ocon with going into the pits. We get a slipstream off him as we will cross the line, and only 17th. Even with that slipstream, we were just not very good here, as being very tentative not to throw it into the wall, as we will move to the race.
A warm welcome to all of you watching at home to today's Azerbaijan Grand Prix, and a race that in its short history has already proven no stranger to drama. A fourth row start is just about as likely to give you a podium as a pole position would. And remember, in 2017 and 2018, both Lance Stroll and then Sergio Perez took surprise podiums here. With 20 turns and a length of 3.7 miles, Baku City Circuit in the heart of the Azerbaijan capital is a real test of a driver's endurance, patience and precision. 90-degree corners through Sector 1 lead into a tightening uphill sprint as we start to circle around the old city. Then a 1.4-mile chase flat out through Sector 3 towards the finish line. And as always, a man with plenty of racing experience joins me in the commentary box. Today it's Anthony Davidson. Tell me, Ant, you're no stranger to surviving the melee of Turn 1. So how do you keep out of trouble when there's so much going on around you?
There are three main things to worry about there, Crofty: positioning, awareness and discipline. First, you have to put your car in a bit of space and make sure you have room to react to what the others are doing. Then you have to watch your mirrors and listen to the sounds around you to get a sense of where everyone is. And finally, just don't get too greedy. Just because a gap exists doesn't always mean you should go for it.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position, and it's Valtteri Bottas that completes the front row. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Hamilton, Verstappen, Alexander Albon, and Perez, Giovinazzi, Norris, Stroll, and Kimi Raikkonen, Ricciardo, Vettel, Carlos Sainz, and Grosjean, Gasly, Kvyat, the owner driver, and Esteban Ocon, Magnussen, Latifi, Russell, and Mahavir Raghunathan. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today?
As we sit here on the grid behind the two Toro Rossos, as the fly lights come on and they are finally away, as we will start the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. As we think about looking left to go for the gap that was going to disappear between the two Toro Rossos, we instead are going to go around the outside of a few cars here, and we're up to 13th behind Latifi here, as we have passed even Vettel, who's way back here and amongst such, which is pretty realistic for real life, but he is leading the championship, I believe, and he's in second, actually, in the fake world, virtual world of our career mode here. As we come onto the pit straight here, as we're just in a big slipstream train, as Leclerc has set the fastest lap, as we're just going to go down the inside here of Latifi here, which are making sure Vettel does not get a run on us, even though the Ferrari is pretty quick. This career mode was made before the patches and stuff, so they are still quick, as you can see here. Even before the activation zone here on lap 3, he is past us, and he has DRS because he was behind at the activation point, so he'll just pull away here as we kind of look a little bit to the outside there, but he makes a mistake coming off of turn 2 there as he leads almost enough room there. As we think better of it, we do not want to get squeezed, as we get a little bit of a worse run here with DRS as we come down towards the turn 3 turn here. As we go really deep there, we almost throw it into the wall there. We locked up, but we have the position, but we lock up once again for turn 4 as he just undercuts us, as we kind of lost a little bit of traction there, as Grosjean has actually lost his end plate. As you can see, we are just scrambling right now. We're locking up everywhere as our tires will be dead on the front. As we come to lap 5, we are passing some cars that are making their pit stop here, as we are actually, if you have not seen, we are on medium tires, while everybody else we were fighting were on softs. So we were going much later into the stint, so the pace was actually not that bad for being on more durable but slower tires here. As you can see, that we are up into P2 actually not for very long, as we are coming into the pits at the end of this lap here, as we go absolutely threading the needle, but make sure not to throw it into the wall there as we come into the pits, as we were one of the last cars to pit, along with Ricardo right ahead of us, as we will be entering our pit box now, as these uniforms aren't very splendid to look at, but they get the job done, as we immediately come out of the pit since we are the last car on the grid here, as we have yellow flags, green flags, and then we have just a traffic jam up here, as they just don't know whether to pass or not. As yellow flags, we passed Stroll there, as we were forced to give it back here, but you can see here as the Toro Rosso has blown up coming down the hill to really the final corner. It's really the final corner. Everything else is flat out, but you can see they kind of just back up behind him, as they really just don't pass here. As this is probably one of the big problems with the F1 game, is the yellow flag rule, as we were forced to let Stroll back through, but we have caught up by a few seconds, as they were about 3 to 4 seconds ahead of us coming out of the pits, as we will have the DRS on Stroll again with our Honda engine versus the Mercedes. We are still able to get through barely, but we were able to, we had to make a inside lunge on him, as these cars ahead of us, Giovinazzi, Raikkonen, and Vettel, who we accidentally hit a little bit, are fighting back here. They're squabbling for the last point paying positions here, as we almost got put into the wall there. I was really concerned when he stopped turning in that I was going to get put in the wall there, but we were able to manage to go around his outside, as he's now hit us, as we kind of scraped the wall there a little bit, as we are in P11, as we are coming up to the last lap of the Grand Prix. But Raikkonen has gotten a really bad exit off of what is considered to be the real last corner of the track there, as he looks like he kind of had to get out of the throttle there a little bit, as we are up to his rear wing going around the outside, as he's going to force us to go the long way around, as we accidentally downshifted to first there, as we almost lost the back end there. But Raikkonen is now fighting with Vettel there, as he kind of made a little lunge there, but that has compromised his exit there, as we will take off, but we will make sure to get out of his slipstream. But through the middle of the lap here, you can see he's kind of gotten back up to us, as we kind of have to play a little like defensive here, as we kind of just squeeze him a little bit, as the AI really, if you even think about getting near them, they lift. As we are coming up to the line, as we will hold on the 10th position by about a half a car length over Raikkonen.
So, another fantastic victory for the Silver Arrows. Talk to me, Ants. What was it that set them apart from the competition today?
Well, I know it's a bit of a boring answer, but the truth is they simply had the best speed package on the day, and a driver who knows how to take advantage of that. It doesn't matter how much time you spend poring over the stats and planning strategies if you can't keep the pace, and our winner today showed they could do both.
And I can see the drivers starting to approach the podium for the victory celebrations. A real team victory today. Everybody played their part. Congratulations then to Mercedes, your race winners today. So then, it's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. More points for Valtteri Bottas, further solidifying his lead at the top of the table. Now, let's discuss, Ants. Who would you say is a contender for Driver of the Day?
I'm going to give it to the owner-driver today. They did a great job at getting the most out of their tyres without losing pace, something that's a very handy skill to have in modern-day Formula One.
Let's move on to the constructors. Mercedes continue to extend their lead. Meanwhile, good work from the owner-drivers team this weekend, who pushed themselves further up the order. Well, Ants, an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.